Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mind Your Money. My name is Tasha. If you're here for the first time on this channel, we are documenting our journey to financial freedom while building generational wealth. We hit our debt freedom date on August 21st, 2021, and we are heading into 2022. So this video is going to be a walkthrough of our 2022 annual budget. The spreadsheet that I'm going to walk through was created in Excel and converted to Google Sheets, and it is available on my website, TashaLovesLife.com. If you just type in TashaLovesLife.com in your browser, and when you get to the web page, simply click on Shop. And when you click on Shop, you'll be able to see all of the digital and physical products that we have. You'll be able to see all of the digital and also the physical products that we have. There are some free budget trackers here. There are some worksheets, but most specifically, we're looking at the annual budget, and the annual budget is again able to save in Google Sheets, so you can use that to track everything that you plan on doing for the entire year. Right now, it is currently on sale for $7.99. I will keep the sale going through January 2022. So anyone who wants an opportunity to purchase the annual tracker will get to do so through the end of January. To give, even if you start in January, even if you're considering doing an annual budget because you've never done one before, you do not have to feel overwhelmed. It's a very simple and easy thing to do as long as you put your effort into it. Put your effort into making an annual budget so you can get a chance and an opportunity to see what your money is doing and where your money is really going throughout the entire year. It will make your monthly budgets easier, even breaking it down to your paycheck budgets. Now, once you purchase the annual budget, you will be able to download it almost immediately. It will be sent to your email, and all of the calculations are set up for you. So all you need to do is add your categories, like your funds, your sinking funds, your cash envelopes or digital cash envelopes. You'll also have the opportunity to change the font if you need to, the colors, just to make it more like you. But every single expense, the income and the paycheck budget, it's already set up for it to calculate your numbers. So I hope that you guys will enjoy this video today, because we're going to get into how we set up our annual budget. Okay, so here is our annual budget. I hope that it's big enough and clear enough for you guys to see. I'm not showing my face. I just want you to see the spreadsheet and get a look at our numbers, because I know some people really enjoy that. And it took us a while. We had a follow-up budget meeting after our budget meeting just to talk about what our top financial goals are. Now, our top financial goals for 2022 is, one, to purchase a newer vehicle. We did not hit that goal in 2021, and I think most of it was due to the fact that we wanted to make sure the student loan debt was satisfied before moving into the new year. Initially, it was before September, but then the forbearance period got extended, so it was still helpful. We got it done in August. We are debt free, and then in 2022, we're going to work on the vehicles. Okay, our next top financial goal is to make sure we hit $20,000 in our emergency fund. We are going to work on maxing out my IRA and my husband's IRA. We're going to be investing for our children. Those are a lot of goals, but our top three is going to be saving for the car, the emergency fund, and maxing out the IRAs. So you'll see that reflected in our budget. So I'm going to start here with the expenses. Now, all of these expenses, you can type in your expenses when you purchase and download your annual budget spreadsheet. So our top items are tithe and offering. We do believe in giving 10%, and we do give above that whenever we can. We also do give sporadically. So the number that you see here is basically 10% of what our expected gross income would be, and then we round up. Okay, so first month is January, that's $480. Then we move on to our four walls. These are all the fixed expenses just below, just above gas fuel. Everything above here from rows 3 through 11 are fixed. These are the bills we have to pay each and every month. Our giving is non-negotiable. Of course, our rent is non-negotiable because we need to live here, and everything else that falls under the category. So all of these numbers are going to pretty much be the same throughout the year. And we know that we have to satisfy that first. So what I did, I'm going to jump to the income tab. This is also a part of the annual budget. I'm just showing you our personal annual budget as a guide. So we have, well, we normally would use 3 sources of income. The variable is row 5, and you can see that it's 0. It's blank for the year. We're no longer going to put any monies here, and we're not saying that we don't expect monies to come in, but we're going to see if we can meet our financial goals, pay all of our fixed expenses on the least amount of income. So that's what my husband and I bring in combined, and that for January is $3,880. Now we've already assessed how many golden months we will have. Some people call them magic months. The 5 pay or the 3 pay months, if you're a biweekly earner, will be April, July, September, and December, which you kind of can't see, but we'll scroll to that in just a moment. Those months are going to be the extra pay months because there are 5 Fridays in those months. So we've already accounted for how much extra we could expect to receive based on the minimum amount. We're not using every single dollar of the income to budget with because we find it as a good strategy and a way to passively save more money. So the additional monies that we receive that we're not budgeting with stays in one of our multiple checking accounts as a cushion. Some people call it a buffer, okay? So this is already set up for you. This row 7 and row 8, to add up how much your income will be and then subtract to see how much you have remaining. And this worksheet or this tab is directly connected to the expenses tab. So all of your expenses and all of the numbers that you type in here are going to automatically calculate here. So when you check here, you'll see if there's an amount left over or remaining that you have left to budget with, okay? I have already fully completed for the entire year from January to December. And it does take some time. It took me a good hour because one, you need to sit down with your partner if you have a partner, or your accountability partner, even if you're not married. Sit down and talk about what are your financial goals? How do you want to make those happen? What's your plan of action? So again, after we satisfied our fixed expenses, that's everything from rows 3 through row 11. Gas, fuel, and Easy Pass are actually line items, but they're 0 right now because we don't have the cars yet. So when we do purchase the car, we will reallocate monies to fill in, because we will have to pay for gas and we will have to pay for Easy Pass. That's when we ever take a toll road or we go out of the city or out of the state. You need to have Easy Pass again. Now, what is very interesting about this is we have what is called sinking funds. We have started calling them purpose funds. That's just because I believe what you say and what you speak over your money manifests. So we don't want to call them sinking funds anymore. I know that that is the popular term. That is what they were called and how they were created. We're going to call them purpose funds, okay? But for the emphasis here, every single fund that we have has a specific purpose. We're saving for back to school. Back to school happens every year. We have 3 children, right? 2 of them are not yet school age. They will be in the coming next year and 2 years. So we're saving for back to school for all 3 of our boys. Christmas comes every year. Clothing, we need clothing. We don't want to walk around here naked. Erin from Erin Tools Around Aimlessly said in one of her videos recently that we need clothes so we won't walk around looking like naked savages. That's just what it is that made me laugh so much. Okay, so clothing is necessary, gifts are necessary, and that encompasses everything from birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, graduation gifts, just because gifts. I love you and I want to show you that I I do gifts, Valentine's Day, all of those things encompasses in gifts. Then we have medical, which is actually called wellness. So let me update that. And we decided to name it wellness. Okay. State license renewal. This is for my husband's and my own professional recertifications. We have to recertify every 2 years. So we will change this out and use it when necessary. We used it in 2021. We won't need to use it again until 2022. All right. And whatever balance is left over in that fund will roll over when we start saving again for it at the end of 2022, going into 2023. All right. Vehicle insurance. Again, the name speaks for itself. Vehicle fund. The difference between vehicle insurance and vehicle fund is that we're saving for any type of travel expenses and of course, any kind of maintenance that needs to be done for the car. Maintenance is just a long word and sometimes I spell it wrong. So fund just makes easier for me to be very honest and transparent with you. All right. Amazon is for our Amazon Prime membership. We paid that annually last year and we're going to pay it again annually in 2022. So we are saving up to pay that in full. Costco, we're saving up to pay our Costco membership and to do Costco runs when it's time to stock up for the new season. So hopefully we won't have to do another stock up until around February, getting closer to the end of the first quarter. That way we'll be ready when spring comes. Next month's bills is exactly that. It's our 1 month ahead account. This is where we put all of our funds to pay for next month's fixed expenses. Again, that is from rows 13 all the way through rows 11. And then soon after we get the car, it'll include rows 12 and 13. Okay. And then we have our envelopes. Now, these are not physical envelopes. These are savings accounts with my husband's. That his Mr. Spending is my husband's spending account where we send his allowance. Miscellaneous and household are actual savings accounts with Capital One 360. And we put money in here. You'll see on when I go through all of the expenses on our expense tracker. This is where we keep money and we use our credit card and we pay the credit card back from these accounts whenever it's a household expense or if it's just a miscellaneous expense. That's where the money comes from. Then our physical envelopes. We have one envelope for each of our 3 boys, right, where we divvy up their spending money or their allowance. I have a physical envelope for myself, and then there's a physical envelope for laundry. We do have more physical envelopes, but we're not allocating money to those specifically because we just kind of put money in those after whatever is left over from our spending every week. But if you watch and you follow the channel, you'll get to see that at the end of every paycheck budget video, since we are paycheck budgeters also, because it's good to see where your money is going each week. You'll see how we stuff our cash and how we use any leftover spending money that wasn't spent to put towards other envelopes. Okay. So back to the expenses quickly. All of our fixed expenses are here, and then we're looking at all of our variable, and this includes our financial goals. So everything from row 14 for us to row 24. Again, you may have more expenses, so all you would simply do to add expenses is to right click on the number of the row and choose insert or insert row, and you can insert above row 11 or whatever row you're looking at or below it. And then that's how you would get that's how you would add your expense or your line item. So these line items here, all of these expenses are inclusive of our financial goals. So once our fixed expenses were satisfied, we had to figure out how much are we going to put towards these goals. Okay. Eggs. Yes. Okay, so our 3 boys, you'll see that the number that we've allocated for January, February, March, that first quarter is pretty low, it's $3. But why is that? Because our top financial goals is to reach $20,000 in our emergency fund by the end of 2022. So we're putting $400 per month. That's how much we could afford. After we also made sure to account for our account cushion. $10 per week is what we've agreed upon, and that's how much we're going to put inside of our account cushion. Then also our purpose funds, also known as sinking funds, $400 which is $100 per week. This is the minimum because we do have goals there. We want to make sure our Christmas gets funded, and we have money for our vehicle or vehicles, the cars. We also want to make sure we have clothes. We have growing children who need clothes constantly, so we want to make sure that our funds are always being funded. We are going to push to max out my husband's IRA and my IRA. So the minimum we're putting in the first quarter is $15 for each of us. I know, again, that number seems really small, but when you consider the fact that we are pushing towards our emergency fund first, once the emergency fund is fully funded, these will begin to get extra money. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this $3,880 that we have is the minimum amount of income. It is not the most, because we know that some months may be a little bit slower. There may be a gap sometimes. So what we really need to make sure of, we're working with the least amount, and we do expect that there will be bonuses. There will be side hustle income. We'll be able to make draws from our business. We get random money coming here and there. We know that those things happen. So we're going to work with the least amount. And whenever that extra income comes in, we will place it in the categories that we need to the most. Okay. Investments, again, $20, $60 for the first quarter. But again, extra money will come in. Our cash, we pull out cash and for all of our spending. So that's myself, my husband, our 3 boys. My husband actually gets his directly sent to his account, hence the cashless or digital envelope. And then miscellaneous and household. Now for household, $40 per month seems a bit low when you have a family of 5, but how I'm navigating this, how I'm getting through this, is I'm using all of the cashback apps that we have. So that is IBOTTA, that's Rakuten, that's Fetch Rewards, that's Receipt Hog, that's Surveys on the Go, and that's Swagbucks. All of those apps, you can take surveys, or you just take pictures of your receipt and upload it, and they give you points that you can convert to gift cards, dollars that you can earn for taking surveys that you can exchange for gift cards. And I use Amazon and Target most frequently, and that's how I buy everything for the household, from our cleaning products to our personal hygiene products, and that is what helps to fill in the gap. So $40 per month is allocated for household. If it's a 5-pay month, it'll be $50. And again, we use credit cards responsibly. So whenever we receive cash back, the cash back is actually going to our first priority goal, which is the emergency fund. But again, those are ways to help us save more money. So if you don't know about that, check out my other videos. I'll link a couple in the cards above so you can go and see how we use cashback apps to help us. And if you haven't used any of the apps like Rakuten or IBOTTA or Fetch Rewards or Receipt Hog, there are links and codes in my description box. You can go and sign up. You would get bonus points or bonus money when you sign up using those codes to help you on your way as well. So this is how we set up our annual budget. Now there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and I believe 4. Yep, 4 golden months or magic months, as some people like to call it, in the year of 2022. So we expect to receive extra income in those months because of the extra paycheck for myself and my husband. So whenever there's an extra month, we're going to put more towards the emergency fund. Most times it's going to be double the amount. And then we're going to put more towards our purpose funds because there's an extra paycheck. Same thing for cash in April and September and July and December. Because of that, we need to make sure we have extra money to do extra things. Same with the household. It's going to get an extra $10 because there's an extra paycheck. So always account for those extra pay months. If you get paid bi-weekly, of course, you may get 3 paychecks in those months. Sometimes, I think, depends on how whatever your payday is and how it falls in the month. But most people who get paid bi-weekly get a 3rd paycheck in those months as well. If you get paid monthly, yeah, it's probably pretty much the same for you. But there's some months there's always at least 1 extra paycheck. So always make sure to account for that. Just look ahead and count the Fridays or count whatever day. Maybe you get paid on Tuesdays, and take a look and say, okay, I can allocate extra money to this financial goal, as long as your fixed expenses stay the same. And what has helped us with our fixed expenses, because we know that utilities will increase as the weather changes. If it gets colder or if it gets warmer, electricity might go higher, or if you're paying for gas, heat, or even water, it might go up significantly. So we are looking into balanced or budget billing. Thank you to Dee, who commented on my recent video. I'm not sure which one it was, but she commented and she gave me some good tips and some good advice about budget billing. I've heard about it before. I think we were on it once before and I stopped doing it. I'm not sure why, but I am going to look into that. That is one good way of making sure you track and check to see that you're on pace and you're not going over, because again, electricity and your gas, heat, or your water bill tends to increase depending on the season. Okay, sweetheart. And so mommy's almost done. So one of the things that we have done is getting 1 month ahead on expenses and putting it in a high yield savings account. So whatever little interest you can earn on it makes a difference. And then of course we do couponing, not super couponing, but we do make sure to try our best to save as much as possible using store rewards. And again, using those cashback apps, like I mentioned, it takes a little extra effort, but it's worth it if you can save 20 to 40, sometimes $50 doing your grocery shopping. You also get a paycheck budget. This is mine. I added some notes here on the side. So each time you get paid, you can track how much the income 1 is, income 2, income 3, and any extra if you have that many. So this is a copy of one that you can use when you get your annual budget. Now you have 3 spaces for regular income and then a space for extra income. If you don't need anything, or if you don't need one of these line items, you just simply right click on the row and delete row. And that will, and automatically here in this row here that's highlighted in blue that says totals, it will calculate how much income you've received each week, and then it will total it for the month. This is just an extra way to check to make sure your paycheck budgets and your monthly budgets add up. And of course, if you receive extra income. So again, you may have budgeted for $3,800 in the month of January, but when you check out your paycheck budget, you actually receive $4,722. That way you can now just say, okay, all of my minimum expenses have been satisfied. I've already, 2022. I've already put what I needed to towards these fixed expenses. I've already, put the minimums that we wanted towards our variable or our financial goals. Now, what can I do with the extra income? Since it's already completed, it makes it so much easier. I attest to it, and I know there are some testimonials or feedback that people left on the site when they purchased it. So please go ahead and check it out. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of our annual budget for 2022. And I hope that if you would like to purchase yours, you go ahead to TashaLovesLife.com/shop and search for the annual budget. It's in there closer to the bottom of the page amidst all of the other physical and digital products that we have. Thank you so much for being here today. Continue to mind your money, manage it well, and live your lives abundantly. Bye for now.